Hi there, my name is Chris Fair and welcome to my channel where today I'll be talking about 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, Season 2, Episode 1. It was called Home is Where the Heart Is. Not really, because it's called The Other Way for a reason, in which case these Americans are going to go abroad and find their heart somewhere else in a foreign land. So you're lying to us, TLC. Not the first time, won't be the last. Okay, let's do it. So here are the couples that we have on the show so far. We know that Jehoon and Diabin, whatever, I don't like her. I'll never like her. Drusilla is what I call her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They're on this season, but they're not in this episode. There's also another white guy who has like a Colombian girlfriend and he's sort of like Corey. Okay, before we go into this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You know, you like it anyway. And just like it helps me in my life and my business. And if you haven't yet subscribed to me, yay, subscribe to me. My name is Chris. I'm great. Sometimes, not this time. We'll see. I would put my money on it. Okay, first couple is Yazin and Brittany. Yazin. Not to be confused with Azin of Nicole and Azin, but somewhat similar in that he is from an Arab country and Muslim and somewhat traditional. And the girlfriend he picked, not that. Brittany is nothing like Nicole. Yazin is from Jordan and Brittany is from Florida. Yazin's a simple guy, you know, he's doing his thing, he's chill, he loves his family, he's trying to get his money right, you know, it's not long because he's young and that's what he's doing. He loves scarves, loves them around his neck, he's Yazin. Brittany, honey, she has a whole story and she's like 24, 20, whatever, but she's lived a life and let me tell you about that life. So her mom pieced out real early, she grew up with her dad, like me. Her dad, single dad raised her and their soup's closed, honey, and she has braces. With those braces, she attracts a certain type of men. That man is a pedophile. What man's like braces? I'm not saying that a man would be turned off by a female with braces, but like what man's like, oh, look at those braces. I love me a little cut on my... I'm sorry. Brittany's like, I did him old. And we're like, how old, Brittany? You're 23, what, 40? And she's like, no. And we're like, 45? And she's like, and we're like, oh God, Brittany, what? Like 50, 55? She's like, and we're like, what, Brittany? 85. Five. Why? Why though, Brittany? Why? Seems real old. She wants things paid for. An 85-year-old man sitting across a girl with braces. I wouldn't let my grandfather. Oh, no. I'd be like, I'd grab his ear and be like, you're coming with me, sir. Go back to your bed. I'll bring you some grits, some applesauce later, but you don't deserve it. Now, Brittany is fun, flirty. She's a rapper. She freestyles for us. Isn't that bad? She's working on her rap career. She, you know, does a bunch of things. She doesn't live by any book, honey. Not the Book of Rules, not the Book of Mormon, not the Quran. So one time Brittany was at her sister's house and her sister lives above another sister. They're sisters together, like sisters of different people. You know, it's a sister situation. And so she goes to visit her sister and her sister's like, look at my friend. This is my friend upstairs. Guess what? She's a sister. And so she goes upstairs to that sister's house and that sister is FaceTiming with her brother. And then she's like, ba-boing, and that's Yazin. And they fall in love over FaceTime. And we get to see them talk. And it's interesting because it's a lot of like, baby, I can't wait until you get here and I show you how beautiful this religion of Islam is. And she's like, can't wait. And he's like, and you will be so happy being an Islamic bride. And she's like, cool. Guess what? Your beard is cute. So happy for your family, by the way, that they're Muslim. How great. Your beard's cute. You like it. And she's like, I always use the beard trick. When he starts talking about converting, I'm always just like, look at that bird. He's like, you're inside. She's like, on TV. So also, guess what? Brittany has a secret. Shh, don't tell anyone. And like, when we first found out that she had a secret, I was like, oh my God, she's a stripper. She's gonna be a stripper. Just because like, what is she gonna say that's a secret that like Islam would be upset about? I'm like, she's a stripper or she's bi. You know, it's gonna be one of those things, but it's not one of those fun things. She's just been married before and it's not divorced yet. It's the old Rebecca and Zayed thing. We've seen it all before. We know your tricks. So yeah, she got married to some dude. They were friends, they got married and he's like Haitian, was born in Haiti and then like moved here and then like, you know, ICE came and they got him and she was sort of like, oh, two birds with one stone. I didn't want to be in that marriage anyway. Just didn't do anything about it. Forgot she was married. That's a big blackout. just the whole time you got married, just didn't do anything about it. It was like, oh yeah. So now she has to try and get a divorce real quick, honey. Real quick. Okay, Jenni and Sumit. Oh my God. Old standbys. Jenni's back and she has slightly different colored hair. It's less blonde, which I appreciate. It has a warmth to it. And she's living with her daughter and, you know, living her life because she's broke. She took all her money, all of it in its entirety, and tried to, you know, go to Sumit before in India. And it turned out real bad, as we remember. Real bad. And Sumit has still not gotten a job this whole time. But Jenni has not let that stop her because she's working out. She like does those like power double dutch ropes, you know, you see women do. I'm into that. She's building strength in her body. Whether there's gonna be strength up here, we don't know. She says that she is sad and lonely, and it's obvious, and that she just spends her time talking with Sumit. They dream together of a time in which they can be together. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us in India. Peace and quiet and open air wait for us somewhere in India. There's a time for us. This season 2 the other way. Somewhere a time for us. This time we'll see if it's different. Time together without your family coming in and barging in and stealing you away from me. With time to spare. Time to learn. Like if you're lying all the time to me because you're almost always lying about everything. Time to care somehow. She's going back on the show and she's going to believe all his lies and go back to India even though she hasn't any money. Somewhere, as we already said, India, we'll find a new way of living. We'll find a way of forgiving. I mean, she knows the way. She always does it all the time. And she never like remembers that he just keeps doing shit to her. Somewhere. Okay, that was a long rendition of that song. But you know what? I'm probably going to keep it. So then she's like, look, this time, no lies, no nothing. I have my eye on you, Sumit. You know, sleep with one eye open because I'll be on the other side. I'm so excited to be with you again. And so they're FaceTiming and she's like, all right, what's happening? And Sumit's like, yeah, like, the divorce is almost final. Not really at all. 6 months later, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I have to give her a lot of money. I don't have a job. We'll see how that works. She's like, you already told me that it's supposed to be like done by December. He's like, yeah, but I don't have to tell you anything. You won't leave. She's like, well, this time I'm going to come and your parents are going to know about me, right? And he's like, yeah, totally they know about you. She's like, okay, great. Well, get him in the room. Let's talk about it. He's like, what? She's like, well, if your parents know I'm coming, then you have no problem getting them in the room and let's do it. So he's like, okay, wait 1 second. I mean, come on. So he goes off camera for a second and then comes back and is like, hi, Jenni, guess what? They won't come, so they won't come. And she's like, they're not going to come. Why? And he's like, they don't like you. And she's like, well, they won't even have FaceTime with me. Like, what are they going to be like when I get there? He's like, bad. No, they're going to be bad. They don't like you. They're not going to just magically change their mind and allow me to be with like your crazy ass white ass. Come on, no. I've embarrassed them on national television. I was married. Just went on television was as if I wasn't married. Said to the world I was in love with you, Jenni, when I had a whole family and a family's family. I mean, they're not happy. My friends think I'm crazy. We have a scene with their friends, right? So he is wearing all white. I don't know if it's Kabbalah Sunday or whatnot, but they're like, I don't know. They're looking through like soccer fields. It's like, it's going to be a lot of grass stains on those white clothes. But the friends are all there being like, dude, like you're going to pick this woman over your culture? And he's like, yes. And they're like, but how about kids? Don't you want kids? She can't have kids. She's old. He's like, I don't want kids. Which, by the way, is like submittedly smart about that. This couple, they're back, honey, and we're going to see it. She has to go get her Social Security started early so she can like get those funds to go because she's just going to support them while he sits around with his thumb up his butt. Then we move on to our first real gay couple. I'm so excited. It's Kenneth and Armando. Kenneth is 57 going on 27. I mean, that man looks good. Kenneth's thing is that he's from Akron, Ohio. And then he goes to Florida. And he's like 19 and goes to a gay club and is like, oh, I felt weird this whole time and different and other and I didn't understand what was wrong with me. But I'll just tell you, I'm home. I'm gay. Now I know I'm gay. I'm out and I'm proud, but like, I want kids. I've always wanted to be a father. I'm gonna be a damn good father. But in the 90s, like he couldn't do anything about it because there now it's like not easy for gay couples to procreate and or even have kids in foster or adoption situations or IVF, especially back in the day. And so he has to get some biddy to like pretend to be his wife and really just like surrogate and have his kids for him. And he has 4 kids, a dude, and then he was like went back for one more, like maybe a girl, and then that girl came with 2 other sisters. has all those kids. And he is what looks like a great man and great father. He's absolutely lovely in every way. He's very, very warm. He seems to have like a security and confidence about him. His family loves him. His kids love him. He likes to cook for his family and stuff. And he goes on Facebook and has like a Facebook group, a gay father group. And he meets Armando. Armando's 31, he lives in Mexico. And him and Armando quickly click. And then Kenneth goes to Mexico to like hang out with Armando, and they fall in love. Now, Armando's situation is that Armando also knew that he was gay, but like was trying to deny it because in Mexico, like it's super conservative and has a culture that isn't like gay friendly. Kenneth looks like Anthony Rapp, and Armando looks like a Mexican gay Pete Davidson. So then Armando got married and he had a kid. That wife, like he came out to that wife, and that wife got real, real pissed, which I mean, God bless, I get. And then she went and like told his parents, like brought everyone in the room and was like, your son's gay. And then 2 months later, she dies in a horrible car accident. And he's just like devastated. And his parents have never talked about it since. He has a kid he has to raise. But he raises like his kid with his sister. His sister has a kid. They do a dog grooming business, you know, like they live their life. It's like both men are very family orientated in their own way. And so they're in love and they have to like move in together. And so they both have like crying scenes with family members. So Ken has a crying scene with his daughter, right? Where the daughter is like, it feels like you're abandoning us and my son Cooper. And it's a little bit like, girl, don't say that to your dad. Like he's a good guy and I get it. Like, but that's kind of selfish of you to say, like, that's not real. But like, I mean, Kenneth just like breaks down and he is just like, I mean, it's so sad to see. And then Armando with his sister, his sister's like, I don't want you to leave. But it's like, okay, Kenneth is moving to Mexico and like, is Armando moving? Like down the street? But like the sister acts as if he's like moving to America. The sister's like crying. And her like drag lashes are like hanging on by like an Ardell thread. And Kenneth's whole situation is that Kenneth was raised by like a dad who was like head football coach for 40 years and like a super Catholic mom. And so when he came out to them, like an 8-page long letter, he thought that those people were going to be like, bye. But they were really nice about it. And Armando doesn't have that luxury. Armando's not going to have like Erica's coming out where they're just like, cool, pass the rice. Erica's dad was so cool. Next is Ariela. Ariela and her dude is Binyam. I think that's his name. I'm not quite sure. He's from Ethiopia, but we call him Baby, which is of course much easier than Binyam. Ariela has a story too. She kind of looks like Cindy Lou Who or whatever from a Dr. Seuss book, but like, you know, one of those like interesting noses. So she loves to travel, honey. And like 10 years ago, she was in Argentina and she was living her life. She like fell in love with that Argentinian way. And she meets this guy named Leandro. They get married 10 years later. She's like, not for me. And so they break up and she goes traveling again. And this time, honey, it's to Ethiopia because she got a round trip for like $25. So she's in Ethiopia and she's just like standing on the curb, honey. She's a hot piece and she calls out to him like, do I know you? I mean, this girl has balls. And that hot dude is Binyam. And he's like an actor, dancer, choreographer, honey. He moves, he shakes. They're getting it in. And 3 months later, guess what? She got a baby in her tummy. So her whole thing is she's doing her prenatal care in America and having the baby in Ethiopia, where guess what? They don't have epidurals. What? Why would you do that to yourself? Don't do it. But she wants to do it because she wants Binyam to be there during the birth of her child, which is incredibly better than I would do. She has like one like little like yoga class with like 2 girls that are like find out that she is gonna have her baby in Ethiopia and they're both like, what? No. One Japanese girl's like, in Japan they don't have epidurals too, which is why I'm not having the baby there, you dumb shit. I mean, should I say that? And then she goes to meet her family doctor, Dr. Hoffman, who like knows her whole family. And he's just like, you know, like excited to have your baby. And he blinks a lot, you know, every time he gets nervous. And so she's like, oh, I'm gonna have this baby actually in Ethiopia. And he's just like, they find out they're going to actually have the baby on Christmas, which is interesting because she's Jewish. So it's like a whole thing where she, you know, gets to give birth to a baby on Christmas Day, just like Mary did with Jesus. I feel so bad for Ari's mom. She's just like, please, let me go with you. And also don't do it. What if you need like a blood transfusion? Can you just not do it? Did you not see what happened when Sasha and that other girl, she had to give birth to the baby in Russia? Like, did you see how bad that was? How different it was than what you're used to being in America with our healthcare system? And this is Ethiopia. What's going to happen in Ethiopia? Oh my gosh. I'm afraid to have a kid, period. I'd be afraid to have a kid in heaven. En natural. Whew. What's your Lamaze routine, girl? There's not enough CBD lotion in the world. I'm so excited for Brittany though. I feel like Brittany and Yazin are like gonna be the couple to watch because they both have no idea how the other people are. and have no idea what a crazy culture shock it is going to be for them. They're blissfully unaware, just in full-on infatuation lust land, where it's like, do you guys know what's about to befall you? We don't even know, but we know it's going to be hard to watch. Where's the popcorn? Thank you so much for watching. I am Chris Farah. I appreciate you. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Chris L. Farah. The L is for lockdown. Of course, join my Facebook group, Vanity Farah. I'd love to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves and each other. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Bye.